Hey guys, welcome back to my blog. It's your favorite host, Karen. Our topic this month is family relationships. This week we'll be specifically talking about father and son relationships. So as we all know how this works, I will be choosing two texts and one media form from all your recommendations sent in from the previous weeks. And I'll be making a discussion on those picks and relating it to me as much as I can. Now clearly, I am a female, but I will make as many connections as possible. So for this week, the top three picks were Shakespeare's famous play Hamlet, the Pulitzer Prize winner novel The Road, written by Cormac McCarthy, and the movie The Pursuit of Happiness, starring Will Smith and Jaden Smith. So what I will do is I will give a brief summary of each text and media. So starting off with Shakespeare's Hamlet, it's basically about Prince Hamlet's sad journey of avenging his father's death while slowly driving himself crazy and eventually driving himself to die. Next is The Road. The Road is more of a novel. It's a post-apocalyptic tale of a journey of a father and son over several months across a landscape blasted by a cataclysm that destroyed civilization. And lastly, it's the movie The Pursuit of Happiness, and it's about a single father going through a struggle in life and ending up being homeless with his son. They struggle, but the father refuses to give in despair as he finds a better life. So now that I gave you all very short, brief summaries of what each text and content is about, I will give you a brief explanation of what my relationship with my father is. Now, my relationship with my father is a bit different. My biological father is not in my life, but my stepfather is the best father I could ask for. We have a much more stronger connection than I actually have with my mom, which is, it's not weird, but you know, it's a bit different. And although we're not related by blood, we have a much stronger bond than just blood. So there's that, and even though it's not a male-to-male relationship, he still guides me through all the hardships I have and all the problems I've gone through. He's always been there by my side. So now comparing, I guess, my view in a father and son relationship, and then the views of the text and media forms father and son relationships. We will be starting with Shakespeare's Hamlet. So in Shakespeare's Hamlet, although Hamlet's father has died, he still has a difficult relationship with him. He has seen his mother remarry his uncle, and he starts to see a ghost that resembles his father. Although the ghost resembling his father is there, that doesn't mean he still is his father, right? It's just a ghost that, I guess, resembles him. And it's not the same as having your father physically there to like witness everything that you go through and like help you out in life. So basically he has to go through this whole journey without guidance or help from any of his parents, and this makes his mental state very, very critical. He has a hard time accepting his uncle as his father figure, and I guess that's what tipped him over, like seeing just his mother remarry so quickly, and especially to just his father's brother. It's very weird, so of course I would totally understand why Hamlet is slowly going crazy. So to relate this is that this relates to me because I also had a hard time accepting a new man as my father, and I know my situation isn't as bad as Hamlet's, but my situation actually worked out. But I also went through the lack of a father for a long time, and also dealt with allowing new people into that empty spot that of a father that I never had. And I can totally relate to how Hamlet felt. It felt very lonesome, and it's just you felt like as the world was just destroyed, like your world is tumbling down. And I can see why Hamlet was very mad at his mother, why he couldn't trust her anymore, and just why he was having a hard time accepting this relationship. So next, in The Road, the novel is based all around a father and son relationship. And I think although the father was protecting his son, he wasn't teaching him the right lessons a father has to teach their son. I know that they are in a very different situation where certain things could have been done differently. For example, there's a part when they encounter an old blind man and the son basically just wants to help the man, but his father yells at him saying they can't do anything and to stop being so soft and to just grow up, which is very, very harsh words to use on your like what 6 8-year-old son. And then another example in the book is that by the ending of the novel, they got robbed, and the father, basically they just tracked down the robber because of all the tracks that he left. And the father, when they catch the robber, I guess he, quotation mark, teaches his son how to be a man, and makes the robber just strip naked in front of them, and tells his son to show no mercy to anyone who's done anything bad to you. Which, of course, I totally understand. I would be furious if someone stole from me and all that stuff. But, like, making him strip down naked in front of his son, just teaching him how to have no mercy, is a little bit just too much for an 8-year-old to process. And so I think that these are unhealthy ways to teach something. Like, the father is a little bit too controlling and just a little bit too selfish. Of course, he still cares for his son, but I think his mental state has been the worst because of everything that he's been through. So I think that the father in the novel is not mentally stable enough to be a father. So this can relate to the world because there are many men out there who aren't mentally prepared for children, men and women alike, but for this week we're focusing on men. And yet they still get custody of them, which I find unfair. Of course, it's hard to divide a family and just take a child away and all that stuff, but of course we want our future to be brighter, and we want children's futures to be better. And sometimes by taking them away from an unhealthy relationship with their parents is much better than just leaving them there and like not allowing their full potential of the child to show. So the novel, the son gets to live. Oh, so by the ending of the novel, the father dies of a natural cause, and so the son, there has been a family that's been following them on this journey, and seeing how the father had mistreated the son and how just things went along. And basically this new family takes him in, tells him it's okay, we've been watching the whole time and we just didn't know how to get you away from your father, blah, blah, blah. And although the kid does miss the father, of course, it's his father, like, and he loves him, so of course he would miss him. The kid accepts that he has to go with this new family to be able to survive and just live a better life. And lastly, in The Pursuit of Happiness, it shows a different perspective for fathers and sons. Will Smith plays a homeless father who has a son, which is Jaden Smith, and Will Smith tries his hardest to find a job or shelter to live under. He does everything he can to show his son the positives of everything, although he is fighting his own problems. Like I said, it's just the father and the son. He is a single father, so meaning that the mother had left them, and he didn't have a proper job. He was just doing volunteer work, and that doesn't pay at all. So they couldn't afford rent, they couldn't afford food, so they had to go from shelter to shelter and line up every morning in a shelter just to get a place. So I think that he goes, like the father in this movie, he goes through many hardships, but in the end succeeds to find a job, starting their new beginning. And I think that this is, like, this whole movie, what it teaches you is very healthy. Like, both of them have a healthy relationship. Like, even if they had nothing, the father would never fail to teach his son all the right things and show him the fair view of life. Like, not only the positives of life and not only the negatives of life. He would show him the fair view of life, what life really is about. And it's just a very loving and sad story of a man who loves his child and would do anything for them. So I think that this can relate mainly to everything. Like, it can relate to the world, it can relate to me, it can relate to you probably. Like, in the other text, all the fathers and sons love each other and would do anything for each other. And I can relate because even though my stepfather knew I wasn't his daughter by blood, and I know that he's not my real father by blood, he still calls me his daughter, and I still call him my father. I know he loves me and does everything he can do to make me happy and help me become who I am today. So I think that fathers are just all around, like, mentally stable fathers, fathers who treat you well, fathers who allow you to see a fair view of life. I think that those fathers are one of the best fathers there are. So I think that that's how it relates to the father that we see in The Pursuit of Happiness. He is very, he is what not a perfect father should be, but what a just general normal father should be: supportive, kind, reliable, like gives you everything, would do anything for you. So ending off, I think that all father and son relationships are very different. No one's is perfect, and it's okay not to be perfect. Like I said, you don't have to compare your own life or situations with things that you read or see in the media. Just know that as long as it's healthy, as long as you both are there for each other, as long as you both are rooting for each other, I think that it's a good relationship. So after saying all this, it's a very, very emotional topic. So I suggest everyone go hug their fathers, or if you don't have one in your life, a father figure, so basically a male in your life who has been there for you just like a father should be, and just thank them for being such amazing people. This is a very, very early Father's Day to everyone, so tune back every Wednesday at 5 p.m. And next week's topic is mother and daughter relationships. So please send book and movie recommendations. Now, this is me logging off. Thank you for listening. Good night.